Silver!
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo, Silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! Let's go, big fellow! I'm Silver! Ahoy!
Todd Harmon was a gruff, self-made man who had started out with a small ranch and by hard work and much stinting had added to it year by year until finally he owned the largest and most prosperous spread in the territory. When Todd spoke, even his wife Ella, a patient and soft-spoken woman, moved to do his bidding. But there was one person who had no fear of Todd Harmon and who could twist the tough, hard rancher around his finger. That person was Todd's little son, Bobby. The Harmon family was at breakfast early one morning.
I'm riding into Frontier Town, Ella. While I'm going, see that Hank gets those cattle branded in the West Rangeland.
Yes, Todd. More coffee, dear?
I don't care if I do. Here's my cup.
Why don't you send Hank to Frontier Town, Todd? Then you could make sure the branding is done the way you want it done. You always... Well...
Go on. I always what?
Oh, nothing, Todd, nothing. But somehow things are not done the way you think they ought to be when you're not here.
Oh, Tommy Rot. Ella, if you and Hank and one or two others who ought to know better would use what brains you had, we'd get things done right the first time.
Now, dear, don't excite yourself. Bobby here at the table, we shouldn't discuss these things anyway.
When I want to discuss something, I'll discuss it, understand?
Dad.
Quiet, child.
Let the boy talk if he wants to. What is it, son?
Can I go to Frontier Town with you? Can I?
No, I'm not taking a wagon. Riding horseback this time, Bobby.
When can I learn to ride, Dad? I'm old enough now. I'm 10.
Well, now, son,
Bobby, dear, you still have lots of time for that. I don't think
Why shouldn't a boy learn to ride if he wants to? Trouble with you, Ella, is that you want to make a sissy out of the boy.
But, Todd,
Bobby, I'll tell you what. You tell Hank the foreman that I said for him to pick out a nice horse for you.
But I want to ride Thunder.
Thunder? Mercy me.
Well, Thunder's a mighty hard bit of horseflesh to handle, Bobby. Even for a grown-up. He's mean,
I want to ride Thunder. I don't want any other horse. Why can't I have Thunder for mine?
Now, Bobby, be quiet. It's ridiculous for you to expect us to let you have that horse. Thunder
Now, hold on, Ella. The boy's harder set on having Thunder than I reckon he can have the horse. Hank will teach him how to ride the critter.
Oh, Dad, golly.
But, Todd, Don't you realize
The
that he
matter's
might...
settled, Ella. You run along, son. Tell Hank what I said. By the time I come back from Frontier Town, you ought to be able to ride Thunder mighty well.
Oh, I'll go tell Hank. I'll tell him softly right away.
Oh, Todd, if you'd just let me...
I haven't
handle
time to sit here and listen to a lot of nagging, Ella. What's wrong with making my own son happy?
Giving in to his every whim isn't the way to make him happy, Todd. Bobby's got to learn that he can't have everything he wants in life. The way you...
Why can't he have what he wants out of life? We're rich, aren't we? Bobby will own the biggest ranch in this territory after I'm gone, won't he? Trouble is, just because you didn't get what you wanted when you were young, you think Bobby
Oh,
should...
Todd, you don't realize what you're doing to our boy. And to me.
Just like a woman. Always runs out and shuts the door so she can have the last word. But Bobby will be brought up my way. That's that.
Following Todd Harmon's orders, Hank the foreman spent a good deal of his time for the next week teaching young Bobby to ride. One morning at the end of the week, Hank and Bobby were at the corral. Hank was saddling the horse on which Bobby had been learning.
Easy, fella.
Do I have to ride that old horse again, Hank?
There. Now, Bobby, there's nothing wrong with this horse. I picked him out for you to learn on because he's kind of easygoing, gentle.
But I want to ride Thunder today.
Thunder? Now, look here, kid.
My dad said Thunder was to be my own horse. So now I want to ride him.
Now, look, Bobby. It ain't for me to question what your pa lets you have. But if he wants you to have Thunder to ride, you better wait till he's here before you try. I'd feel better about it.
I won't wait. I won't. I'm going to ride Thunder now. I'll tell my dad if...
All right, Bobby, all right. Don't go into a tantrum about it. But I won't be responsible for what happens if Thunder begins to act up now. Now, your pa will be home tomorrow.
I don't care. I want to ride Thunder today. You said I was a good rider now, didn't you?
Yes, sure. You took to a horse like a duck takes to water. But that don't mean you can ride...
All right, then. Get Thunder like you said you would.
All right, kid. It's your neck. Hey, Chuck! Rope Thunder and bring him over here.
All right, Hank.
You're going to get your way once too often, Bobby. Then something will happen. You just wait and see.
A short time later, Thunder, a jet-black horse with beautiful lines, stood ready for Bobby to mount.
Well, Thunder's all ready for riding, kid.
Hank, the kid isn't going to ride Thunder, is he?
My dad gave Thunder to me. He's my horse, so I'm going to ride him.
Thunder seems gentle enough now, kid. If something makes him skittish, he'll be hard to handle.
Hank says I'm a natural-born rider. Didn't you, Hank?
Yes, I did say that. But I didn't expect you to be riding a horse like Thunder in this short time. Well, I'll help you on. And I'll go along just in case something...
No. You help me on, then I'm going riding alone.
Have it your way, son.
Well, up you go.
Easy, Thunder, easy.
Hey, the kid sets the saddle all right.
Sure. I'm a good rider. Get up, Thunder.
Hey, look at him go. Hank, one of us should have gone along with him.
No, you can't tell that kid anything. And the boss makes us give in to him all the time. Now, all we can do is hope he gets back with his head in one piece. The ornery little maverick.
Meantime, the Lone Ranger, with his young nephew, Dan Reed, and accompanied by Tonto, was riding along the trail some distance from the Harmon Ranch.
It's still about 2 days' journey to Frontier Town.
Ah, that's right.
Where are we now, sir?
We're several miles outside of the town of Woodstock.
I don't know that town.
We not come here much, Dan.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we were... Look, Tonto, over there.
Ah, horse coming plenty fast. Look like boy in saddle.
Oh, Silver.
Oh, fella.
Yes, it is a boy. Very small boy, too. I wonder if he... Horse is swerving from the trail and heading across the prairie. That horse is running away with the boy. Come on, Silver!
Before Tonto and Dan could signal their horses to move, the Lone Ranger had urged Silver forward. The great white stallion seemed to leap into a fast gallop, and in a moment was closing the gap between the Lone Ranger and the little boy and the racing black horse ahead.
Faster, Silver! Faster, boy!
Silver strained his rippling muscles to increase his pace, and soon the black horse was only a few yards ahead. Then...
The boy's been throwing the horses down. Whoa, Silver, whoa, easy, steady, big fella. Strange a young boy like that would be riding a horse like... Tonto, the boy's hurt.
Him lie plenty still. Won't step and hold, huh?
Let's see. Wait a minute. A bad blow on the head. He's unconscious.
The horse has broken his leg.
That's too bad. We'll have to put him out of his suffering, then we'll take the boy with us and pitch camp somewhere nearby.
That afternoon, Todd Harmon arrived home from Frontier Town. Ella, his wife, met him near the corral as he reined up.
Who there? Who, boy? Who?
Todd! Oh, Todd, I'm so glad you're home.
Hey, what's the trouble, Ella? What's wrong?
It's Bobby.
Bobby? What's happened to Bobby?
He insisted on riding Thunder this
Oh,
morning.
no.
He made Hank saddle Thunder, and then he went off alone. He hasn't come back.
Holy jumping Jupiter. You mean to tell me you let that boy get on Thunder and leave here alone? He can't even ride, much less...
I didn't know about it, Todd. And Hank says Bobby practiced all week. He sort of took to the saddle naturally. I'd never have let him ride on Thunder if I'd
Ella,
known.
you're just an addle-headed woman when it comes to raising a kid. I'm going to talk to Hank right now at the bunkhouse. Come on. Hank! Hank!
Yeah, be right there, boss. What's the trouble?
The trouble? You realize our boy isn't home? I understand you let him get on Thunder and go riding alone.
The kid insisted on doing it. Now, you know how...
You
Bobby...
mean to say you let a button like that boss you around, do you? Haven't you got any sense?
Now, hold on, boss. If he don't get his way, he goes running to you. And you always give us the devil for not doing what he wants.
You knew he couldn't ride. Maybe you sent him to his death.
No, I spent all week, like you told me, teaching the kid to ride. He took to it real natural-like. I told him he oughtn't to ride Thunder, though, but he said...
He said. I've got a bunch of weak-kneed hands who take orders from a kid.
You got yourself to blame, boss. If you
Don't
didn't-
talk back to me, you nim-witted coyote.
Todd.
You keep quiet, too. Get the men. We'll start a search for my boy. Get a move on you.
Oh, you must find Bobby. You've got to.
We'll do our best, ma'am. I'll get the boys together right away so we can track them down.
Later that day, Todd Harmon, with Hank and the ranch hands, were still following the trail which Bobby had taken earlier.
I can't for the life of me understand where that boy could have gone to.
Thunder was sure going lickety-split when he left the ranch yard, boss.
You and Hank are a couple of fools to let the kid talk you into it.
The button just don't take no for an answer.
What kind of men do you call yourselves? Wait, Reno. Whoa.
Oh, there. Oh, boy.
What is it, boss?
Don't see anyone on the trail.
Look over there in the prairie. Seems like something lying on the ground.
Could be a stray steer.
Come on, get up there. Come on, get up.
Holy smoke, it looks like Thunder.
Easy, boy.
It is Thunder.
Looks like he's dead.
Yeah, that's right. The kid. He ain't in sight. If he's
Look
been...
here. Thunder's been shot.
Who'd shoot a horse from under a kid? I wonder what happened.
Oh, go on, boy.
Shut up, you. Man, it looks like someone shot Bobby's horse from under him and took the boy.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Must have known he was your kid. Going to hold him for ransom, maybe.
We're setting out right now to track down the hombres who got my son. We're not going back to the ranch till we do track them down. And when we find them, we'll shoot to kill.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. Unknown to the Lone Ranger, Todd Harmon, thinking that his boy's horse had been shot from under him and the boy taken, vowed that no one would return to the ranch until they had tracked down and killed those responsible. Meantime, the Lone Ranger had selected a secluded spot for a camp, and with Tonto's help, he doctored the unconscious Bobby. It was almost dusk when Bobby opened his eyes and stared at the masked man who bent over him.
How did I get here? Are you an outlaw?
No, I'm your friend. Your horse fell with you, and you struck your head.
Thunder ran away. I couldn't hold him.
You're too young to ride a spirited horse like that one was. What's your name, son?
Bobby Harmon. Hank said I'd better not ride Thunder.
And who is Hank, Bobby?
My dad's foreman, but Hank has to do what I tell him to.
Oh, I see. And did your father let you ride that horse without someone with you?
Dad went away, but he said I could have Thunder for my own.
Do you always get your own way, Bobby?
Uh-huh. My dad owns the biggest ranch around here.
I see. You'd better not talk anymore right now.
Where's Thunder?
Thunder broke his leg when he fell, Bobby.
Then you had to...
Yes. You see, Bobby, if you had listened to the foreman, Thunder would still be all right. And you wouldn't have been hurt.
I want to go home.
Of course you do. But we can't move you yet, Bobby. You rest now. I'll see to it that your mother and father get word about where you are, and they can come for you with a buckboard.
No, I always do what I want to. I'm going to get up and...
Easy, fella, easy. Oh, no. There.
All right, Thunder, and you won't stop me.
Him out ahead, Kemosabe.
Yes, Tonto. I'll take Dan with me to Woodstock. He can bring a doctor back here while I go locate the boy's parents. Bobby needs immediate medical care.
That's right.
Look after him until we get back.
How is he, sir?
Not too good, Dan. You come with me. Bring back a doctor while I find his father's ranch. Steady,
Yes,
easy,
sir.
big fella.
Steady, boy.
Come on, Silver.
Come on, Victor.
Darkness had set in by the time the Lone Ranger and Dan reined up in front of the doctor's house.
Oh, Silver, hold on. Easy.
Go, steady, boy.
Wait here, Dan. I'll talk to the doctor.
Yes, sir.
I came for the doctor. Is he in?
I'm Dr. Willis. What? A masked outlaw?
No, Doctor. I'm not an outlaw. Forget the mask. A boy named Bobby Harmon is badly injured. He needs attention at once.
Todd Harmon's boy injured? Why didn't Todd send one of his ranch hands? Why are you...
Please, Doctor. There's no time to explain now. Bobby isn't at home. I have someone ready to take you to him while I go for his parents.
What's the extent of the boy's injury?
Well, it's a head injury. You'd better come prepared for most anything in case he can't be moved. You will come, won't you, Doctor?
Yes, of course. Though this is all most unusual.
Then get your instruments and ride with the boy who is waiting. Where's the Harmon Ranch?
Take the trail west. Todd Harmon's ranch is about 10 miles out. You can't miss it.
Thank you. I'll come to the camp where Bobby is as soon as I notify his people. Hurry, Doctor.
I will. I'll be out in just a few minutes.
Thanks and adios. Dan, the doctor will be out shortly. Take him to the camp. Steady, big fella. Easy. I'll be along later. Come on, Silver.
Ella Harmon was alone in the ranch house when she heard hoofbeats stopping out front.
There's someone now. Maybe one of the men. I've been waiting for someone to come. Oh, my goodness, a masked man.
I'm not an outlaw. Please don't let the mask frighten you. I came with news of your son, Mrs. Harmon.
You can't... What's happened to Bobby? Where is he?
The horse he was riding fell. Bobby's been hurt.
Oh, but is he...
He's at my camp a few miles from here. A doctor's on the way now. I thought you and your husband should know, so I came as soon as I learned Bobby's identity.
Oh, my poor boy.
We'll hope for the best, Mrs. Harmon. There's no time to lose. If you're coming to the camp,
Yes,
you better get...
Yes, step in a minute. I'll leave a note for Todd.
And your husband isn't here?
No. Todd and the ranch hands are hunting for Bobby. I'll be ready to go in a minute. I have a horse already saddled in case I heard from Todd. Go now. Oh, it's Todd. He's just in time. Todd! Todd!
Hello, we haven't any news. Chuck's still out with some of the boys. We're going to start out again and then... Ella, who's that inside the doorway there?
Mr. Harmon, I came to
An
tell you
outlaw.
what...
Don't move, mister, and reach.
All right. Now, if you'll let me
Todd,
tell you
he
why
isn't an outlaw at all. He was just taking me to our boy, to Bobby. He's been hurt.
Bobby hurt?
Yes. He's at the masked man's camp. I was going to him. Now we can both go.
Wait a minute. You say our son's at this masked man's camp?
That's right. We better hurry.
Boys, come here.
What's up, boss? You're a masked man. You better hold that gun, sir.
He says Bobby's at his camp, and he came here to get my wife to go back there with him. We just got here in time, it looks like.
What do you mean?
I think you kidnapped my boy. Shot down his horse right under him.
No, that's not true. You see, I
And
came
furthermore,
to...
you come here to get my wife to go to your camp to see for herself that you had him. Then you would have sent her back with a message from me on how to get the ransom money to you.
Don't be a fool, Harmon. We're wasting time. If you want to...
Boss, we ought to string him up right now.
Hank's right. Let's get a rope and string him up like Hank says.
He's an outlaw, all right.
Now, wait, all of you. We can't string him up till he tells where Bobby is. He'll have to take us there to his camp.
Todd, he says Bobby's hurt. He says Thunder fell and Bobby got hurt
If
when he...
my boy's hurt bad, I'll make you really suffer, mister.
Your boy is suffering from a head injury. A doctor from town is on the way to the camp now. I came here for you and Mrs. Harmon. You can believe what you like, Harmon.
Take us to my boy. After we get him, then you can do your talking. If it'll do you any good. Get his guns, Hank.
Sure. I got him.
Now, let's get going and fast. Ella, you stay here.
Oh, no, I won't. I won't.
I said stay here.
Her place is with the boy. It might help to save his life, Harmon.
Mind your business, you. Ella, I guess you can come along.
We'll keep our guns on this owl hoot so you don't try to give us the slip.
All right, let's get started right now.
Go on, let's get moving.
The Lone Ranger led Todd Harmon with his wife and men to the camp. The Lone Ranger knew that perhaps his life, along with Dan's and Tonto's, depended upon whether Bobby recovered and told the truth about what happened. If the boy died, he knew Todd Harmon and his men would stop at nothing in their anger. As they approached the camp, the Lone Ranger spoke.
There's the camp just ahead where you see those lanterns.
Better be careful, boss. You might have others waiting there to meet us with bullets.
Don't worry about that.
You're the one to worry, mister. Reach, Indian.
I me not understand.
It's
Why the
all right, Tonto.
Take us to Bobby.
I'll him over lean to it, doctor.
Come on, Ella.
All right.
Keep them covered, men.
Right, boss.
Wait, please.
Hey, that's Doc Willis from town.
Well, yeah, that's right.
How'd you get
here,
here,
Doc?
Doc? Man came for me and had someone bring me out.
How's the boy, Doctor?
Yes. How's Bobby, Doc?
Todd, you and the missus can come to see him. Better have the others wait. Come on.
Come along, you.
I intend to.
Look at Bobby. He's so still and white. Maybe
He'll be all right. Thanks to the care he got before I came here.
Tonto and I did what we could.
Probably saved his life, mister.
Bobby, son. Can you hear me?
Is that you, Dad? I'm glad you came. And there's Mom.
Oh, Bobby. We were so worried.
What happened, son?
I was riding Thunder. You said I could.
I know.
He ran away with me. He stepped in a hole and fell. Thunder broke his leg, so they had...
Wait a minute, Bobby. You mean to say this man with a mask on didn't kidnap you?
No, he tried to catch Thunder and save me. But Thunder fell before he got to me. They brought me here, and they've been awful nice, Dad.
Well, Hank, come here.
Yes? What do you want, boss?
Give the masked man his guns back.
Well, all right.
Thanks.
Todd Harmon.
Huh?
You owe the masked man an apology.
It's all right, Mrs. Harmon.
No, it isn't. Todd always thinks he's right about everything and everybody. But he's been wrong lots of times, including now.
Now, wait a minute, Ella.
No, I'm saying my say, Todd Harmon. Because of you making everybody give in to you. And to Bobby. The boy almost lost his life.
I made Hank let me ride Thunder, Dad.
Here's the water you wanted, Doctor.
Oh, thanks, son. I'll give Bobby one of these pills now. You can give him the others at 3-hour intervals.
Yes, sir.
What's that? We're taking Bobby home with us?
Todd, you better let him stay here overnight. Best not disturb him now.
I want to stay, Dad. Dan is so nice, and I like the masked man and the Indian, too.
Well, I'll be doggone.
You stay, Bobby. We'll come for you in the morning.
We'll take good care of him.
Yeah, I know you will. There was practically nothing for me to do when I got here.
Dan doesn't want his own way all the time, Dad.
He doesn't, huh? From now on, Ella, I'm leaving the raising of Bobby to you.
Oh, golly. Then I won't go up to be mean and bossy like you, Dad. I want to be like the masked man and have people like me.
Well, for the... I guess if I want it to be a case of like father, like son, I'm going to have to change a bit.
I'm sure Bobby doesn't mean that
I know. My feelings aren't hurt, mister.
Good. I'll go attend to my horse now.
He's such a fine man. I'll always be thankful.
I wonder who he is and why he wears that mask.
Dad, I know. And someday I want to be like him. He's the Lone Ranger.
This is a copyrighted feature originated by George W. Trendle and directed by Charles D. Livingston. The part of the Lone Ranger is played by Brace Beamer.